We're going to talk about some of the most interesting facts that you didn't know about Fernando Mendoza.
No, I'm not cousins with Kirk Cousins. I think he's a very likable guy. I can see how people see, similarities between us two.
Mendoza will likely get drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders as his talents are unmatched among all the quarterbacks on the draft board. So, here are 10 interesting facts that you didn't know about Fernando Mendoza. Mendoza began his collegiate career with the California Golden Bears. Before Mendoza took his collegiate career to a whole new level, his college football journey began at the University of California playing for the Golden Bears. Before that, Mendoza almost went to Yale, as that was his safety school at the time. Mendoza played 20 games for the Golden Bears for 2 seasons, completing 418 passes for 4,712 yards, throwing 30 touchdowns against 16 interceptions, rushing for 197 yards on 135 carries, and scoring 4 rushing touchdowns. Mendoza led the Golden Bears to the 2023 Independence Bowl and the 2024 LA Bowl, which the teams lost in both games. Mendoza's brother was a backup quarterback at Indiana. Mendoza's brother, Alberto Mendoza, was the Hoosiers' backup quarterback from 2024 to 2025 before transferring to Georgia Tech for the 2026 season. Alberto is one of the big reasons why Fernando transferred to the Indiana Hoosiers and how the rest became history, as playing in the same football program with Alberto made the transition more comfortable for Fernando. Alberto and Fernando are very close, and taking advantage of the opportunity to play on the same team was a must for Fernando when transferring to the University of Indiana. Plus, their mother Elsa found it much easier to support both brothers playing for one college football team as opposed to 2 teams. We cannot wait to see what Alberto Mendoza does for the Yellow Jackets and the ACC this upcoming season. Mendoza is a devout Catholic. Mendoza came from a very Catholic family and expresses the importance of his faith by saying glory to God after every game. Mendoza coordinated the Hoosiers' Bible studies on campus and credits Catholicism for building a strong camaraderie among him and his teammates. After winning the 2025 College Football National Championship game against the Miami Hurricanes, Mendoza said, "I don't praise God because we won, I praise him because he's worthy." Mendoza even brought his Heisman Trophy to the St. Paul Catholic Center in Bloomington on Christmas Eve as an act of gratitude to God for the spiritual mentorship that he received over the years, instead of a public display. Mendoza is an advocate for the Multiple Sclerosis Society. Mendoza speaks up for those who have multiple sclerosis because of his mother, Elsa Mendoza, who also has the disease. Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease that causes breakdown of the protective covering of nerves, and there is no cure for the disease currently. Mendoza says that his mother is his best friend and is an inspiration for everything that he's accomplished. Adidas, which sponsors Mendoza, has also stepped up and helped raise money for MS research. Adidas hosted families who are also dealing with the disease at their flagship store in New York and got them to meet the Mendozas and treat their guests to a $10,000 shopping spree. Mendoza has actually helped raise about $170,000 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation. Mendoza and his family have raised funds for MS research, and the Mendoza brothers have gotten local restaurants like Buffalo's, which is very close to Indiana's campus, to create Cuban-inspired menu items like the Mendoza Bros Burger, with the proceeds all going to research in MS. A heartwarming tale of Mendoza and local restaurants stepping up to help get donations, research, and help find a cure for multiple sclerosis once and for all. Mendoza is a Miami native despite being born in Boston. Mendoza was born in Boston but is a true Miami native, as his family moved to South Beach shortly after he was born. Mendoza's family is of Cuban heritage and sees the heritage in his and his brother's passion for playing football. Mendoza's grandparents immigrated from Cuba in the 1950s after the Cuban Revolution, wanting to pursue the American dream. Mendoza refers to his upbringing in Miami as a central reason for his current work ethic and journey as an athlete. Mendoza grew up less than a mile away from the University of Miami's campus, attending Christopher Columbus High School, helping his high school win an 8A state title in 2019. Mendoza was a fan of the Hurricanes growing up, and he wanted to stay local and play for his hometown team. But he was never offered a scholarship to play for the Hurricanes. The cherry on top for Mendoza was playing the 2026 College Football Championship game against the Hurricanes at Hard Rock Stadium and defeating them.
I was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school. I got declined to walk on offer to the University of Miami. Full circle moment here playing in Miami.
Mendoza idolizes Tom Brady. Although Mendoza grew up in Miami, he idolized New England Patriots and Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady. Mendoza admires Brady's approach to preparation, his philosophy, his resilience, and shaping his views as a quarterback.
Tom Brady. He's someone that I've looked up to my entire life, and I really not only love his play on the field, but his resilience.
Mendoza also said that the mental demands of playing quarterback echoed traits that are heavily associated with TB12. Mendoza expressed on Yahoo Sports Instagram that it would mean so much for him to be mentioned by the 5-time Super Bowl MVP and future Hall of Famer. The GOAT himself is also a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, the team with the current first overall pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, who will, in all likelihood, draft Mendoza with that pick. Mendoza did have a brief phone call with Brady, and he described that phone call as very special during his scouting combine interview. If the Raiders draft Mendoza, which, again, is very likely, we hope Brady will mentor him and teach him the ropes of handling the pressures of being an NFL quarterback. Mendoza is working on getting an MBA. Besides leading the Indiana Hoosiers to their first national championship in football, Mendoza is working on getting his Master's of Business Administration from IU at the Kelley School of Business. Mendoza graduated from the University of California, Berkeley with a bachelor's degree in business administration in 3 years. Mendoza approaches football similarly to business school, as he used flashcards and whiteboard sessions to study plays. Mendoza plans on using his degree to pursue a career in finance and real estate, combined with his football career. Mendoza has actually interned for real estate investment firms like Newmark and Acre, all while practicing football, which, is no easy feat to accomplish. Having an MBA is also a great asset to have, especially once Mendoza's professional football career concludes, as then he'll have an impressive network of business professionals and other NFL players also wanting to pursue their own businesses. The only apps on Mendoza's phone are YouTube and LinkedIn. The only apps Mendoza has on his phone are YouTube and LinkedIn, as he just wants to eliminate social media distractions, which, I think most of us fall victim to in everyday life. Mendoza's goal is to keep his focus on football and update his professional network for his business aspirations off the football field. So with YouTube and LinkedIn as the only apps on Mendoza's phone, he avoids reading comments, negative feedback, opinions about his performance, and other outside noise to keep him on track to become a professional quarterback. Honestly, we need more athletes like this who just try to keep away from the noise and focus on improving their craft on the field rather than getting distracted by the social media off of it. Plus, as an athlete, do you really need to be posting every little detail about your life on a daily basis? Mendoza comes from a family of athletes. Mendoza's athletic prowess comes from a family thing, as his parents were also gifted athletes in their younger years. Mendoza's mother, Elsa, played tennis for the University of Miami and ran tennis drills with him, hoping that he would maybe become a tennis player. Mendoza's father, Fernando Sr., also played football at Christopher Columbus High School and was on the same team as current Miami Hurricanes head coach Mario Cristobal and Hurricanes offensive line coach Alex Mirabal. Fernando Sr. competed in the rowing league at Brown University and won the gold medal in the 1987 Junior World Championships. And Alberto, Fernando's brother, was the backup quarterback for the Hoosiers, as we mentioned earlier. Coming from a family of athletes shows that Mendoza will likely bring great success no matter where he ends up in the NFL. Mendoza has always been an underdog. Despite likely getting drafted with the first overall pick, Mendoza has always been a bit of an underdog. He was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school, and the University of California was the only Division I school to give him an opportunity, as we mentioned earlier. Not to mention, he was ranked as the 140th best quarterback in the class of 2022. Mendoza began his collegiate football career as a redshirt freshman and a third-string quarterback, and didn't see playing action until 2023, as he had a very shaky start to his playing career. But he managed to clean things up in the 2024 season. Even after Mendoza transferred to Indiana, he struggled in spring practices by taking too many sacks and struggling with accuracy. Luckily, everything was cleaned up, and Mendoza led the Hoosiers to one of the greatest runs in college football. However, guys like Dan Orlovsky recently said that he considered Ty Simpson to be the best quarterback in the 2026 draft as opposed to Mendoza on the Pat McAfee show. And McAfee and the crew rightly dismantled Orlovsky's take.
Like Indiana beat Alabama, 38-0? I mean, it's,
No.
Yeah. And this is why people say you're getting paid to do this.
Takes like that further add to Mendoza's underdog story and how his on-field production will likely silence doubters like Orlovsky. Furthermore, we can't wait to see what Mendoza accomplishes in the NFL when he's finally drafted, especially if he gets to don the silver and black of the Raiders and possibly change the culture of that team for the better. But hey, what other fun facts about Fernando Mendoza should we have included on our list? Was there anything notable that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.